Good morning, Taconic. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Taconic TV. My name is Ian McGrath. Today is April 1st or April Fool's Day. And now, let's jump right into the news. Today, you can expect to see the main news brought to you by Nolan Smith and the news in Spanish brought to you by Sarah Hernandez. Then, Owen Bonnie is going to be bringing it to the kitchen for his brand new cooking segment. But first, I want to throw it over to Josh Meany, who's going to tell us what happened on this day in history.
Thanks, Ian. And today, I'm back for another This Day in History. Today's focus is on today, April 1st. In 1621, the Plymouth, Massachusetts colonists created the first treaty with Native Americans. In 1748, the ruins of Pompeii were found, still intact with concrete-like coffins for people who were submerged in lava and smoke from Mount Vesuvius. In 1923, Adolf Hitler was sentenced to 5 years in prison for high treason in retaliation for the Beer Hall Push coup. He was convicted for 5 years, but only served for 9 months, while staying in the equivalent of a jail suite. In 1945, U.S. forces landed in Okinawa, beginning one of the bloodiest battles of the Pacific War, with the U.S. suffering over 49,000 deaths and casualties, with the Japanese losing over 110,000. In 1946, a 7.6 magnitude earthquake hit Hawaii. 4.5 hours later, a 60-foot tsunami hit Hawaii, killing over 170 people. In 1999, 11 European countries in the European Union adopted the euro as its official currency. And finally, in 1976, Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs founded Apple Computer in Cupertino, California. That's it for today in history. Now we're bringing it over to Nolan for the main news. Nolan?
Happy Thursday, everyone. Some big news in the February Faculty Member of the Month. It's Miss Zimick. Pittsfield Public Schools will soon be going back to full-time in-person. Elementary school students will be going back on April 5th, while middle school students will be going back very soon after on April 28th. There is still no word on when high school students will be going back, but hopefully soon. All seniors, there are many scholarships coming up, including the United Educators of Pittsfield Scholarship due April 5th and the Stephen Phillips Memorial Scholarship Fund due April 25th. There are a lot of other scholarships available, so please make sure to see Cindy and Guidance or head over to the THS School Counseling Office website for more information. Also, any seniors that would like a yearbook to commemorate their high school experience, make sure you need to pay the $100 that goes to Mr. Siegel. Also, for graduation, you'll need a cap and gown, which will cost $30. Make sure to give all of this money to Mr. Siegel in the Math Pod. Also, seniors, if you would like to announce your college decision on the show, make sure to email us at taconictv@pittsfield.net. And if you have any pictures of you in your school gear or on campus, make sure to send those to us too. Now over to sports.
Hello everyone, I'm here for your high school sports update. The Modified Fall 2 season is underway and practices have started. Most of the games and meets start at the end of the week, but unfortunately there are no spectators allowed at these games. In the next show, we hope to tell you about how each team has been doing and their hopes for the season. In other news, March Madness has been underway for a couple weeks and is coming to an end soon. In March Madness, you can see all the top pick college basketball teams fight for the right to be the best of the best this year. Currently, it is taking place in Indianapolis, Indiana, and the NCAA is only allowing 25% capacity, which includes coaches, staff, and family members of the players. This year, there were a lot of upsets. Some of the big upsets that ended a lot of perfect brackets was when Oral Roberts beat Ohio State. This ended 95% of all brackets. Some other big upsets was also when Oral Roberts beat Florida and when Loyola Chicago beat Illinois in the second round. The Final Four will be played on April 3rd, and then the championship is going to be on Monday, April 5th. You can catch these games on CBS or TBS. Let us know who you want to win on Monday. Now, back to Nolan in the studio.
In current event news, the Beacon is opening up again for everyone to go see movies in the theater again. Also, there is a new bookstore on North Street called Familiar Trees. It's a great local bookstore where you can get amazing books. Netflix is doing a true crime documentary about the 1990 Gardner Museum heist in Boston. This documentary is going to be featuring multiple sets and actors from the Berkshire Theater Group, so make sure to check it out once it releases. Finally, the UK variant of COVID has been identified in Pittsfield. Make sure to keep wearing your mask and social distancing. We want to keep this school and everybody else in the city safe. I'm going to pass it over to Sarah, where we have the news in Spanish.
Feliz jueves a todos. Tengo una muy buena noticia y es que el miembro de la facultad de febrero es para la señorita Simic. Muchas felicidades. Las escuelas públicas de Pittsfield pronto volverán a trabajar a tiempo completo en persona. Los estudiantes de la escuela primaria regresarán el 5 de abril, mientras que los estudiantes de la escuela intermedia regresarán el 28 de abril. Todavía no se sabe cuándo volverán los estudiantes de secundaria en persona, pero con suerte sabremos pronto. Hay muchas becas para todos los estudiantes de último año, incluidas las becas de Educadores Unidos de Pittsfield que vence el 5 de abril, y el fondo de becas en memoria de Stephen Phillips que vence el 26 de abril. Hay muchas otras becas disponibles, así que asegúrese de comunicarse con Cindy para recibir orientación o puedes visitar el sitio web de la Oficina de Consejería Escolar para obtener más información. También cualquier clase de estudiantes de último año, si desea un anuario para conmemorar la experiencia de la escuela secundaria, el costo es de $100. También para la graduación, su gorra y toga costará $30. Por favor, entregue este dinero al Sr. Siegel en el módulo de matemáticas. También los estudiantes de último año, si desean anunciar sus decisiones universitarias en el programa, envíenos un correo electrónico a taconictv@pittsfield.net. Y si tiene alguna foto suya con su equipo escolar o en el campus, envíenos también. Muchas gracias.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Owen, and welcome to another cooking segment. For this week, I'm going to be showing you guys how to cook oatmeal craisin chocolate chunk cookies. This is a recipe that I came across about a year ago, and I've actually made it quite a few times over the months of quarantine. Anyways, let's get started. For this recipe, you're going to need 2/3 of a cup of butter or margarine softened, 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar, 2 large eggs, 1.5 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats, 1.5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1.5 cups of craisins, and 2/3 of a cup of chocolate chips. To start things off, you're going to want to take your butter and your brown sugar and put it in a bowl and then mix them together. Once the two are mixed up nicely, you're then going to want to add your 2 eggs. Once you got those mixed up, you're then going to want to take another bowl where you're going to put all your dry ingredients in. First, add the rolled oats. Then the flour. The baking soda. And the salt. Then take a spoon and mix all the dry ingredients together as well. Now we're going to take our bowl of dry ingredients and mix it into our other bowl. Once you've combined all the dried ingredients and wet ingredients together, we're now going to add our 2 final ingredients, the craisins and the chocolate. And then your chocolate chips. I didn't have chocolate and have to use peanut butter as an alternative, which is perfectly fine. And if you want to do something similar by not using chocolate, instead use, for say, M&Ms or something, go right ahead. Once you mix all of these up together, it's now finally time for the baking process. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees. Take small bits of your cookie dough and evenly form them on your tray. Once the oven is ready, place the trays in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. After about 10 to 12 minutes, your cookies should be all ready. I am really glad with how these turned out. They taste amazing, and I highly recommend that anyone that's new to baking to try these out. That is all for this week's cooking segment. Now I'm going to hand it over to Wojcik's weather.
Hi, this is Wojcik's weather. Let's get right into the forecast. A lot to talk about. So what we're looking at is next few days, hazy, hot, humid, highs 80s to 90s, beautiful sun and warmth. Actually, no, April Fools. That is nowhere near what we're going to be during all of this. Unfortunately, what we got here looking at the national map is we've got this moisture, which is going to be moving up. By the time you see this report, it will be here. Thursday morning into possibly later in the day, and with the temperatures dropping, you'll see in a second, we're looking at some snow on the higher elevations. Anything over 1,000 feet could pick up a quick inch or two of snow. This high pressure, though, will be following behind. So once this is out of here, we're looking at pretty decent weather ahead for the weekend and going into next week with maybe one blip on Sunday morning. So looking forward, we look at Thursday, 4 a.m., snow will be coming through. This will be pushing our way through the day on Friday. Will be much colder. You start talking about the temps. This is where we are right now regionally, but temps will be maybe 15, 20 degrees colder on Friday. So going forward, you'll see that chance of mixer snow Thursday, high will be 39. Friday's going to be the chilly day, 36 degrees, some breeze to it as well, so making you feel a little bit colder. Then as we get into the weekend, be back into the 50s, sunny Saturday. Sunday, there may be some clouds, could be a quick morning shower Easter Sunday, but then going into next week, 55, 60s, and we could be approaching 70 by Wednesday next week. So things will start getting pretty nice with that high pressure coming in. So you guys have a great weekend. Happy Easter. And see you next week.
Good morning, Taconic students and staff. We'd like to welcome you to our newest segment, Top Taconic Tips. On Top Taconic Tips, we'll be taking a look at the best ways to make your life just that much easier. We'll dive into topics such as sleeping habits, routines, coping with anxiety, time management, and much, much more.
For today's segment, let's take a look at how routine at night and in the morning can drastically improve your mood, mind, and day. As high school students, we know it's hard to stay off the phone and fall asleep. So to start, let's take a look at some tips for a great nighttime routine.
Perhaps the most important aspect of a nighttime routine is the time you fall asleep. But did you know that the time you wake up in the morning is just as important? Waking up and falling asleep at the same time every day puts your body's natural clock, its circadian rhythm, in check. Soon after, you'll start falling asleep on cue.
Another significant step to a great routine is limiting screen time hours, hopefully in the hour or so before you head to bed. One thing is clear, do not use your cell phone while trying to fall asleep. Cell phone and computers give off a blue light radiation which mess up your body's melatonin levels and inhibit your ability to fall asleep quickly.
Also, please do not do your virtual classes from your bed. Your bed should be a place for sleeping, not schoolwork. You're way more likely to fall asleep in your bed than, say, a chair, and naps during the day can cause a lack of sleep at night. However, if you must, limit your nap to 20 minutes max. According to Healthline, a nap longer than 20 minutes can drastically affect how you fall asleep and how you sleep.
Thank you all so much for listening today. See you next time on Top Taconic Tips.
During the show, we have the quote of the day. I intend to live forever. So far, so good. Thank you to everyone who helped make this show possible and to everyone who sent us their news. If you want your news featured on the show, please email taconictv@pittsfield.net. Remember to take responsibility, have respect, and strive for excellence. Go out and make it a great day.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Some big news in the February faculty member